Mm-mm-mm. It takes a while to set this up. I shared it with you. It takes a while to set this up. Hey, everybody, what's up? It's Tuesday. Not that that really matters since we're on quarantine, but this is In Bed with Comics, and I am your host and fellow comedian, Kristen Tinsley. And tonight, I have two very special guests in one body. How did I pull that off? I don't know. I'm a magician. Maybe I work for the circus. I don't know. But tonight, once upon a time, we have a very sexy, very tall comic who walked into the room and she said, I'm going to be a comic and I'm going to tell jokes. And she's appeared in the little room at Governor's, at Coasters in East Meadow, and also at the South Huntington Library. But also joining her tonight is a manicurist to the stars. Miss Ranay May is here to talk to y'all right now. So pay attention so we can hear all the questions that are going to be shared about what it's like to do the nails of some of the most famous stars in Hollywood. Are you ready? Here we go. Please welcome everybody, fellow comic, and someone who I adore very much, Miss Shari Polen.
Hello, actually, it's Ranay May. Shari
Ranay May, what happened to Shari? You killed her?
I think Shari had a deal with some of her other escapades going on in the house. But let me just tell you, my name is Ranay May. I'm manicurist to the stars. That's trademark. That's a trademark name, just so you know. I've been in the business long enough to know. And let me just tell you, Kristen, I have done the nails of the nails. I have dealt with cuticles the size of a dick. I have kept clipping those cuticles from the Kardashians. I have dealt with everyone, and I can tell you juice about people, how they got started in the industry. These lovies come to Hollywood. They all hear about me. I first want to tell you a little bit about my backstory. I'm actually a retired 7-time world record professional wife. Now, let me just tell you what that means. It means that when I was younger and I was in the industry, I realized I'm getting married to these people, and it's a very lucrative job. Who knew? So my first one was back in 19 something, because I'm not going to divulge my age, of course.
No, never.
And the first time I did it, I got divorced after 3 years. It was $3 million, and I said, wait a minute, Ranay May doesn't need to go and be an actress and take off and show her titties on these movies. No, I could just get married. So I will tell all you little lovies out there that are really looking for a profession, a wife, a professional wife. Find the people that have the money, that really want you for like a little accessory. You sign the papers, you know what you're dealing with. And honestly, a lot of them, I didn't even have to sleep with.
So tell me, Ranay, when you've done the nails of famous stars, tell me which one of them have had, the caca underneath their nails, because you know that happens. Who's had the caca underneath the nails? Tell me.
Well, let me first start and tell you, my favorite person to do the cleanest nails you ever seen in your life. I've never seen nails better than this. I don't know if it's just the way they grew or the way they were handled, but before they came to me, they were perfect. So really, I just did a polish change. Aretha Franklin, that woman has class. Those nails are to die for. But
I could imagine. I could imagine.
Not everyone has Aretha nails. I mean, those are like Oscar worthy.
And that's the dirt that I'm looking for. I want to know who's got the shit underneath their nails in Hollywood. Just tell me.
Okay. So I've done a lot of men, and I will say Quentin Tarantino has the world's worst nails.
I can agree.
I would also say, now this is interesting. Brad Pitt, when he was dating or married to that lovey, Aniston. Oh, what a doll, what a gem. I felt bad about the whole thing because it kind of happened right in my studio, but his nails were good except the pinky nails. And I once asked him, I said, why am I always taking out brown stuff in the pinky nail? I think you got a fetish with the asshole, to be quite honest. But
that's definitely, because you got to have one of the pink and throwing one in the sink. That's how he got that skinny bitch. That's how he got that skin soft. That's how he got soft on his pepper. I'm telling you.
So I will say he had like half and half. You know, I will say, I'll tell you something. These anorexic ladies that come in, their nails are disgusting. I always say, eat a cookie or something. You're coming in, the nails are just ruined. They're ruined.
Wow.
And then they're thinking that, like, you know, everything shrinks. The nail beds don't shrink, ladies. You look like a freak. You look like a freak. Freak. Freak.
I can imagine. I could just imagine that their nail beds are fat. And that's why they're so skinny like that, because they're trying to get the nail beds to get skinny too, but that just doesn't happen.
I like a little bit juice in my trunk. I like a little more bounce to the balls. I'm not into the skinny mini. Hey, if you're skinny mini, God bless you. But you know what? It's kind of not like a trend anymore. Actually, want to give you the dirt.
Nope, fat girl swallow right here.
Oh, well, you know what? You know what's interesting about swallowing? My lips once got injected because I went to the Botox doctor so much. He just gives me my own shot now. I have it at home. The lips got so big one day. I was giving oral. You know what? At my age, I still like to do that. It works the mouth. It's an easy workout.
Oh, definitely. It smooths everything out. It's everything out. It smooths it out.
And then you know what someone told me? The pre-cum mixed with white wine vinegar with a little parsley, it's actually a great way to get rid of lines in your forehead.
Oh man, I totally have lines in my forehead. Oh my God, does somebody want to give me some sperm? Because I have the rest of the ingredients. I have the vinegar and I have the parsley. I just need the sperm because you know I'm single. Oh my God, Renee, you gotta help me out.
It's really just the pre-cum. So you don't have to worry about taking in all the extra calories.
So I don't have to do any work actually. It's just a little bit. I just gotta maybe tickle his balls a little bit. Just tickle his balls.
Don't take your dirt off.
Thank you. That's it.
Okay. So I wanted to tell you actually, the trend in Hollywood right now. I mean, here's the thing. I do the nails, even though we're in quarantine. Someone just paid me cash to go over to their house. I know you're not supposed to go out of the house. I know. But here's the thing. Ranay May, manicurist to the stars, trademark, like I said. I got paid just before this. I got paid $4,000 cash.
$4,000?
And guess what? I wasn't even doing the head honcho's nails. I was doing her twin daughters.
Oh my God. Just $2,000 each to do the twin daughters.
Yes.
All because you're breaking quarantine. See, if you break quarantine, you get paid more money. That's a lesson to y'all. If you break the rules, you get paid more money. Just keep that in mind. Mm-hmm.
And you know, it's not like I'm not going to tell the IRS. Of course I'm going to tell them. I mean, I'm going to tell them I made like $2,000 because the other $2,000 is going to stay in my pocket. But that's for here and there. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I wanted to tell you something. Oh, in Hollywood right now, because I really wanted to tell you, it's so funny. I always hear, oh my God. First of all, you know the word lotion? Lotion. Lotion. Right. I love the way it sounds. Lotion. This is a sidebar. Lotion makes me sound like, it makes me think of my tongue wrapped around a penis. Lotion.
Got it. You gotta flip it. Got it.
That's just a sidebar. So the new trend in Hollywood is for the weight loss, these crazy trends. You take your name and whatever your name sounds like is what you eat. So the name that I go by is Ranay May. My real full name is Ranay May Fried Thigh Liverwurst. You know why I go by Ranay May. Right. I basically have been eating for the last 3 days fried chicken thigh liverwurst.
So my name is Kristen. So what would I be eating?
Jesus Christ.
Oh my God. I always knew I was holier than thou, but now it's definitely been confirmed. Oh my God. I'm actually so honored to be eating Jesus Christ. I can't believe it.
I mean,
can I charge for that?
There's going to be people that are going to want to just rub themselves on you.
Oh God, I can't wait. I'm going to get lots of pre-cum. I'm going to have the skin of a newborn baby.
That's
Definitely.
that's gonna be great, actually. I might be coming to you for tips.
Exactly. Tips. Yeah, tips as in,
So, exactly, the nails. So now it's interesting. A lot of people don't know this, but this really is a true statement that when you listen, I'm not against people that pick their nails. You want to pick your nails, you want to put in other people's assholes, you want to sit in, rim job and then still feel it with the nails. Do whatever you want, whatever floats your boat. I'm not here nor there. But I will say, I do believe that women have a better time with the nail upkeep than men. And I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because I think when women are out and about, they, without a problem, can just take out their nail file and file. A lot of men
Absolutely. And it's totally an attitude like thing. Like, you want to give me a fucking attitude, bitch? Like, okay, go ahead, keep talking. Like, I'm not listening to you, I'm doing my nails. It's totally acceptable. Go ahead.
and a lot of men say they do that and then they get their head turned. But in LA, it's not like a head turn, like, oh, you're taking out your nail thing. It's more like you're taking out your nail thing and you're not listening to me, and then you're not getting your movie made. It's really, but I have heard that breast milk, like the right before someone gives birth, it's actually, they call it like a liquid gold. That
Right.
milk that you squeeze from the nipple when someone's pregnant. Now, I will say, if you're going to squeeze someone's nipple while they're pregnant, you definitely want to ask for the okay, because I could see you maybe getting slapped. But if you squeeze the nipple and you get that little, I don't really know what it's called because Ranay May has never had kids, but I heard if you squeeze that liquid gold and you rub it on the cuticles, that is how you do it.
Cool.
So
I think that okay, now when you rub it in, do you have to get the entire nail bed or just a little bit?
you know what, really, you just have to get a little bit, and that's why I really want to make it lotion.
Right. I think you need to patent that. I think you need to take your version of the lotion and make it. I really think that you need to patent the pre-cum, and you need to just sell it how you're going to sell it, because I really think you're onto something there.
And you know what else? The Kardashians are really the ones that really put me in they're the ones that really got me into the whole breast milk thing. Kim has been doing the breast milk thing that's why, honestly, she really wanted to have more babies, but she couldn't. Couldn't. Listen, Ranay May said, Kim, you could do anything. You could have the babies. No one's gonna know.
Right.
And she said, well, it's easier for me to pay for the surrogate. And I said, let's talk about the surrogate's nails. I actually did her nails because I said, you can't have a baby come out of someone else's vagina who has bad nails.
Absolutely not. No way. My baby needs to see those toenails on the way out. I do not want my baby to see, and I'm sure Kim K can agree, I do not want my baby to see some nasty ass dragon toenail, Lorena Bobbitt dick cutting off toenails on the way out of the womb. I don't want, no.
You know what's also interesting? When I started doing the nails, and I did like all the Oscars and all the the award shows. They always invite me to the party. Ranay May doesn't need the parties. I am the fucking party. I don't need E Entertainment.
Absolutely.
No. So anyway, this is the thing to do when you're watching these shows. I am literally sitting as close to that TV as prompter as possible, because I'm literally about to like make a shit. When I see these people in these sandals, they're all dolled up. They've got gloss on. They've got the rhinestones on their face. Look at the fucking toenails. Ay. Ooh. It's like sleeping with someone that you have to be stuck in quarantine with.
Oh, I can't. I remember when I used to only go to college for the hot guys. I admit it. That's why I'm a TV host. I only used to go to college for the hot guys. And I remember looking down at the floor and seeing this cute guy and then looking down at his feet, and he had the nasty, like, uneven, like, mountaintop, like, toenails. But then thankfully, I looked up and I saw my husband sitting there, and he was just absolutely gorgeous. And I said, wasn't for those disgusting, nasty toenails, I never would have found my husband. Never.
Nuts.
So sometimes nasty feet can do you good, but not in the Hollywood world. Not on the red carpet. No. And they never show the red carpet for a reason. That's why.
And here's another thing I just want to say. You know, the way I know Shari is, it's interesting. She lived in California for like a little bit. She wasn't sure what she wanted to do. She started working at Disney. Then she met some guy at Disney who was kind of like a stalker, that was a weird story. But anyway, she lived in California. She had like the best situation going on. She lived with her aunt and uncle, and they paid for everything. And she basically went on like a hiatus from life, and she got to do and go and whatever. She lived the life. When I met her, she was living the life. Oh, shout out. We both have a communal friend. Shout out to May 22nd on Selling Sunset, that second season. I bought my house in Beverly Hills from the newest cast member.
Awesome.
I love her. She's a doll. She's a lovey. She's a doll. She's gorgeous. Oh my God, she's gorgeous. Talk about good nails. She's gorgeous. But yes, that's how we met, actually. We met because I was going to buy something and Shari was there, and Shari was looking around also, and it turned out I got the house. But yeah, she lived in California. So when I met Shari, she was like, that girl was, let's see, she was in Disney. She once got locked in like an elevator with two executives. She almost shit her pants. And not shit her pants because, oh, it's executives. It's because she hates elevators, and she literally almost had a heart attack.
You hate elevators because she's so tall.
I think it's because she once got stuck in one when she was 3. That was the whole problem.
That was the whole thing. If you were Shari, would you say, how much do you think, because we know Shari is a stand-up comic, how much, on a scale to 1 to 10, how much would you say that Shari loves stand-up comedy?
On a scale from 1 to 10, I would say she's probably like a 10 and a half.
A 10 and a half. But we actually know what actual shoe size does Shari wear?
Shari wears a 10 medium.
A 10 medium.
That girl doesn't
just below the threshold.
She does not have narrow. Yeah, narrow feet and narrow toenails are strange to me.
Do you like working on big feet?
Oh, I don't mind it. You know what? I always feel like there's a story behind every nail.
Okay, but when you have to rub the lotion into the feet, do you charge extra when you have to go up and down the big giant foot? Do you charge extra?
You know, I will say, here's the thing. With the feet, with the nails and everything, it's kind of like a fetish. Shh, Ranay May won't tell.
Never.
It could be a fetish. I mean, I'm really obsessed. When I go online prior to the quarantine, well, also I've been breaking rules. So when I went online for things and I see someone paying, or they're pressing the nails into the touch screen. I mean, I said to someone today, I said, ma'am, I'm Ranay May. She was like, who? And I was like, I know. You could pretend that you don't know me. We all know me. I'm on the billboards, but for God's sakes.
Of course.
Your second nail is hanging. And I'm just concerned that the nail's going to rip off and it's going to bleed. And then, people are trying to stay like very cleansed. So I gave her one of my, I have my own line. I have my own line of beauty stuff. Of course, it's like 40 years old. I mean, I have the extra sitting in my purse and and I just said, I think you should clean it. It's going to bleed. And I hate the blood. Oh my,
definitely.
You peel the motherfucker off. It's going to bleed. Motherfucking nail. That's what we call it.
You don't mind like Shrek nails?
Oh no, I don't mind that, because you know what? When I go to paint it, there's more to play with.
Do you don't mind Flintstone toes? Remember, did you ever see the Jersey Shore?
Yes. Oh,
when Sammy and Ronnie started going out and he was like, oh, you have Flintstone toenails? Like, do you mind that when a girl like comes in, she looks all fly and shit, but she has Flintstone toenails that you're like, I don't know. I think
everyone has something weird on them. For me, it's not weird. For me, it's you're coming to me because you trust me. And, I really am. I'm the godmother of these lovies that come that want to be in Hollywood. I'm trying to perfect them. And here's the thing, though. When I started, like I said, I started in the industry. I have a lot of family in the industry. And I know what they're looking for. And at the end of the day, they're not going to cast someone that's a starlet, that has no boobs, that has shit ass toes, and that has a donkey in their ass.
Ass toes. Let me ask you something. Now, you obviously have clear view of some very intimate places. Have you ever seen a roast beef sandwich in between a girl's legs? Because some bitches in Hollywood don't wear underwear. Have you ever seen the roast
Yes.
beef?
You know
Or the
what?
bologna? Yeah.
This is the thing. I've seen the split knish roast beef hanging. I've seen it, and it's not on the older dames. It's crazy, but it's not on the older dames. Let me just tell you something. When a 30-year-old something comes in and she's complaining about the outfit and blah blah blah, and and then I'm there because obviously when they're doing the sex scene, I got to make sure the toes look good. And a lot of times the toes don't look good. And I'm always on set, but I'm always on set for a lot of other reasons.
Right.
You know what? I've seen some dirty ass, stinky zorches. These zorches are hairy, they're not waxed, and there's fucking teeth coming from them.
Oh my God.
I'm the manicurist. That movie Teeth, that was based on someone.
Oh my God.
I
can't imagine teeth in a vagina. Like, I'm so old that like the teeth in my vagina would probably need dentures at this point, because I feel like the vagina ages a lot faster than the actual physical human. So if I need to get my vagina like dentured, I'm definitely going to Hollywood.
You know what? There's a lot of vaginal orthodontists. It's really like a 1, 2, 3.
Right. It should be simple. It should be simple. Like, if your vagina grows teeth, just get that shit taken care of. If you have a roast beef sandwich, own it. But if you have a roast beef sandwich, at least you have to provide gravy to go along with it. I mean,
And
that's
really,
feel, ladies.
if
Go there.
You know, I do find it's interesting now. There is someone I cannot leak her name because I was sued by her, J-Lo. But you know, here's the thing.
I didn't hear that. No one else heard that.
She has beautiful nails. She has a manicurist that travels with her. I did start with her early on. She said, Renee, and then she found someone else, which is totally fine because I just don't have the time for it. But she has some interesting situations. Next time you see her in a sandal, I think there's a toe or two are longer. Now, how do you feel about when the second and third toe are longer than the big toe?
That's horrible. That's a deal breaker for me. If I see a guy that has uneven toes, I can't handle it. I immediately break down and like just cry. Like, I can't handle it. Like, if it's just, I can't do it. To me, that's like an alien species. Like, I feel like feet are definitely a strong indicator as to whether or not you're a human or an alien. And we're definitely under alien attack right now. So if I see people walking around with longer, like, second toes than their big toe, I know you're an alien. That's just my philosophy.
I mean, listen, Ranay May, I can't say I haven't done the dirty with some ogre looking freaks, but it's really because, I mean, in my industry, freaks are kind of like, they're all freaks. I mean, Hollywood, let me just tell you a funny story very quickly, and then you tell me. I think Shari's just in the spa in her house, just preparing for this. So when Shari was actually, and she'll actually can tell you the story, but when I met Shari, it was like a 911 call. I really thought that her toe had fallen off, or that she was screaming and yelling, and she said something was bleeding. But I realized now it was probably that she had her period with no tampon. But that's another story. She was meeting me at the Beverly Hills Wilshire, and they had like a tiki lounge, a tiki bar, delicious drinks. Oh my God, I really need to call them over there and just tell them I think I'm gonna have to stay there a few nights. Anyway, so we meet. Well, we were trying to meet. You know, I was waiting there because I have a table for myself, and I get this panic call, and I'm like, darling, where are you? You're really like a block away. What is the problem? Did your foot get stuck behind the brake? No, she made a wrong. She made a wrong turn, and she was actually in the block that takes up from the Scientology, the Church of Scientology. And at that time, she was like really, really scared. She was so scared. She called me panicked. She's like, I don't know. I made the wrong turn, blah, blah, blah. I don't know how. She speaks in another language, another dialect. I don't understand her half the time. But she basically was so scared that she said, I can't make the U-turn. There's people coming out of the church. So I said to her, I go, darling, they're not going to come out of they're not going to open the car door and like rip you out of the car. I mean, there are rules. And she's like, no, you don't understand. And so I said, okay. So I get in the car, I meet her on this ridiculous road. Like, I mean, it's like down the block from, what's it called, from the church. And I get in and I said, okay, I'm like, just make the U-turn. I mean, I was standing on the side of this side of the street where the church was. She was like, get in the car, they're gonna abduct you, they're gonna abduct you. First of all, this poor girl, she thought everyone was going to abduct her in California. After we get there, she tells me how she was in the supermarket and it was during like Rosh Hashanah. You know what, I'm not I'm someone that follows a lot of different religions. I don't really know too much about the Rosh Hashanah, but she was in the supermarket during Rosh Hashanah, and she said there was two young girls that came over to her, and they said, "Oh, you're looking for potatoes? You're looking for like the chicken? You're looking for the Shabbat candles? Are you Jewish?" And she said, "Yes." And then she said they literally followed her around the store because they didn't see a wedding band on her, and I guess she looked young. And they figured, oh, she's making Rosh Hashanah dinner for herself. And they were actually from the Chabad of Beverly Hills, which is a great, great place. I've been there.
Jewish stalkers. 5 pounds, Jewish stalkers. Well, what?
Yes. So poor Shari, she always thought someone was out to get her. I guess that's part of the reason why she had to go incognito for a few weeks.
Well, tell Shari to get her ass out here.
All right, give me 1 second, my lovey. I love you. Thank you so much.
I love you.
Ranay May will do all the things.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming on the show, Ranay May. I love you so much. I look forward to you doing my nails one day.
When I see you next, I'll do all the nails. Give me 1 second. Love you, doll.
Love you, doll. Bye. Fix my hair. Yes, Frank. You probably are an alien. I would definitely agree. Who doesn't like mother wings on a chick? Yeah, Jeff Bosey, I definitely have all of that. So next, when you come on my show, you better be ready to examine that. Shari Polen, everybody! Yes! What's up, girl? How you doing, girl?
I'm pretending that I'm coming in from a golf game or a tennis game. Two games I have no idea how to play.
How are you?
I'm doing
great. That was
great.
A wonderful performance. Bonnie Scalisi was asking, she's like, "Oh my God, is that Shari?" And I'm like, "Yeah, girl, that's Shari." Like,
I feel like I'm gonna have to use that wig later for like some S&M shit with my
that wig. I absolutely love that wig. I think that wig is great. It looks great on you. I love that. So where did you come up with the idea for the character of Ranay May, and where did that come from?
I'll be honest, actually, some of the things I hear people say, when I'm in the car, I practice saying them as they said it. And they all have like kind of that like kind of Jewishy, but kind of like also weird Connecticut accent. And it's always like weird. I'm like, how do you have like that super Long Island twang and then say things very proper? So I just started like playing around with it. And then usually when I wanted to yell and scream at someone after they pissed me off, I started just doing that accent, like Ranay May. And I just was like, people don't yell at their manicurists. Like people
do though. I've yelled at my manicurist before, like when she hasn't gotten anything right. I'm like, bitch, like, really? Like, no, like I want this blacker than black, like 3 coats of black, like don't mess around, like no, like I've yelled at
the 2 manicurists I've ever gone to my whole life are 2 of my like super close friends. Like my regular manicurist, I just spoke to like this morning actually, and I was like, is there any way if I pay you and we don't tell anyone, you can come see me ASAP?
I actually went to nail school. I went to the Long Island Nail and Skincare Institute of Long Island over here on Hempstead Turnpike.
Oh my God, that sounds like so much fun.
It was, but unfortunately when I graduated, there was no jobs. Like you had to be Asian to get a job. Like there wasn't anything. Like the only job that I could get was at like an uppity spa. But at those uppity spas, they only pay like $5 for a manicure. Like how much money am I going to possibly make? You know? And plus the teacher I had was like going through a divorce at the time. So that's all she did was talk about like her like soon to be ex-husband and how much she didn't care about. Like literally like I had to sit in class every day for like 2-3 hours per day. And that's all she talked about was like microwaving macaroni and cheese and like her problems with her husband. And I'm just like,
Sounds like
and
a
like
fun.
all these pasta, and then like they tried to like make us go to like the beach and do like all natural manicures with like ocean water and sands. And I'm like, that's probably unsanitary. Like, who the hell wants to touch someone's dirty fucking sand, sweaty feet and then put their feet in the dirty ocean and give them like an all natural manicure? Like that was definitely axed. Like, it was such a joke. Like, I spent thousands of dollars to go and do something that I wasn't going to be able to get a job in, and most of the time was spent on like waxing like the bikini strip of like the owner of that school.
You know what's so, when you talk about going to school and not being able to get a job in something, when I graduated college, I knew eventually I wanted to, you know, move to California. I just like didn't know the right time, and I didn't know like what to do because I didn't really have a job there. And then
Absolutely.
basically I decided, you know what, I just want to be in California. I want to be where like the whole element is. And I was on a weekend away with my sister at Fire Island. And she's like, so what do you think you're going to do like the rest of the summer? And I'm like, I think I'm going to tell mom and dad I'm moving to California. Like, that's what I said on the ferry ride over. So she's like, awesome. And I called my aunt that night and I was like, so I'm going to be moving to California and I really need to use that extra bedroom in your apartment. And they're like, okay. They're like, what do your parents say? And I'm like, oh, I'm going to tell them when I come back from Fire Island.
So I actually wanted to go to California when I graduated from high school to be a special effects makeup artist.
Well,
yeah, it didn't happen like that because my mother was like, no. Because at first I was like, yeah, like as soon as I graduated high school, I wanted to actually go to the Air Force. I wanted to be in the military. And my mother was like, going to, oh yes, I wanted to fly like fighter jets. Like, I would have went to the Marines. I would have went to like, I did not give a fuck. I was like, I'm out of here. Like, I just wanted to get out of Long Island and just get out of Levittown. Like, I did not care. I was ready to go to the military services because that's what I thought, you know, that you did.
Right.
I would have totally have done that. My mother was like, I will kill myself if you go to the military. My mother was like, I will hang myself if you leave to go to the military. She's like, you're not going around being around the whole time. The Air Force was not going to take me because I had heart problems. The Marines probably would have like beat the crap out of me. I don't know if I would have been able to like have like survived that.
I'm not made for that. I
definitely would have loved the guidance. Like, I don't know. I mean, I really wish I could have been in the Air Force. I would have definitely have done that. But
oh my God, Air Force Kristen. That sounds like a sexy Halloween costume.
Oh yes, flying airplanes around. But I also wanted to be a mortician also. Like, I had all these like ideas of like what I wanted to do. I went into a funeral home in Levittown and I was like, oh yeah, I want to be a mortician. And like, no, you don't. Like, this is not like, okay, goth girl, like just go over there. Like, there's just no way that you're gonna be a mortician.
I mean, it's really cool. I mean, it's, you know, those are like hobbies. You could have hobbies.
Well, cremating dead bodies and like, you know, putting makeup on dead bodies, which is actually an art form that I learned how to do, but I just don't tell anyone that, about how to like put makeup on dead people, which is something I learned. But yeah, it's called deserology. It was very interesting. I loved it. But it's just not something that they pay you to do because they usually just have the funeral director that does that. So, no, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, to put makeup on somebody who's dead already, it's like, it sucks. But it's definitely not a career that I would consider. Although, if I had gone the route of being a funeral director, I'd probably be very wealthy right now, especially considering everything that's going on in the world right now.
So I had lived in California for a short amount of time, but it was a really great experience. And when I went out there specifically to like try to like get and be like a writer's assistant or something like that. Right as I went out there, it was the writer's strike. So like, so no one was hiring. No one hired anyone out of union. I did get a job at Disney in like some really technical department, and I'm not tech savvy when it comes to, it was like Disney XD digital. And it was like, I don't even know. The guy literally trained me for a week. And then I think he thought I was pretending to be stupid because like I wanted him to like have to help me again. And he then asked me out on like 3 dates, and I kept on meeting him at LACMA, which is Los Angeles Museum of Art or whatever. And I basically would tell him on these dates, I'm like, I'm really sorry. Like my brain just doesn't work like this. And someone basically gave me the job because it was a friend of a friend, whatever. And I was grateful, but I was like, this is never going to work. I have no fucking clue what I'm doing. And you were going to spend the rest of your career teaching me how to like digitize this shit. So I basically told him, I'm like, I have no problem going out with you, but I'm probably not going to go back to work on Monday.
Well, what kind of writing do you like to do?
I really like creative writing, just flat out creative writing of creating just creating stories, writing poetry, but I really love creating characters. I love creating characters.
Did you ever go to school for it? Because I have a bachelor's degree in creative writing from Hunter College. You know that, right? Okay.
Yeah.
You know that I'm like the master of like creating like characters and fucking crazy shit like all the time.
I went to the University of Buffalo and I got a scholarship there for writing.
I love it. I love all of it.
So there I actually like met a lot of really awesome people. I feel like I probably could have applied myself a little more. But creative writing versus writing an actual script is like two different animals. Like, so creative writing, I like where it's just like free form, sitting down and like writing, taking the free form that I made and then putting into like final draft is, I don't know, it's like painfully hard for me. And for a really long time, I had like all these great ideas. I'm blessed that I'm also like there's family members of mine that have made it in this industry and have been willing to help me. But like I had to do the work of writing it. And I basically was like, I'm really sorry. I just don't think I have it in me. Like I have the ideas, but to go somewhere, you have to have more than the ideas. You have to write it. So
not necessarily. Not always necessarily. I have read thousands upon thousands of screenplays in my old days.
Well, no, let me rephrase that. The people that could help me that are in the business were like, I'm not in the mood to like sit and write another screenplay for you. Like, I'll help you go checkpoint to checkpoint, which I totally respect. I mean, this is like help that you know, it's like unfathomed that you can't get. But I just was like, I don't know. I don't know if it's like, I couldn't apply myself or I
know exactly what it is because I struggle with the same shit. It is exactly this. And that's why I love comedy so much, because comedy, I can actually talk and get it out of my mouth when I'm talking.
Yes.
But when I'm sitting there and I have the daunting task of having to write and remember, okay, well, this scene goes with this. But when you break it down did you ever read the book called Save the Cat?
No.
You need to read that book because it'll break it down for you in such a way that you will be able to understand with every single scene that you write is a moment of life that you're taking from a character. This is a scene right now. Interior, Kristen's bedroom, night.
Right.
Kristen talking to Shari on the computer. What are we learning from this scene? It's the same thing when you apply it to comedy. It's the same thing with everything else. When you're able to break it down and you'll be able to say, okay, well, what am I learning in this scene? It's easy to plug it in. Final draft is nothing. Final draft is just a word processor. It's nothing. When you're able to take it and break it down as to the story, because if you think like I do, when I think of a story or situation, when somebody tells me, what do you want to do with the story? I already have the beginning, middle, and end done out. When somebody says, oh, you want to write this season, I already have the entire season planned out in my head in 2 seconds. It doesn't take much. But when you have to write it down on paper, that's when it's a very daunting task to have to do that, because I'm like, well, why do I have to do that? Like, just let me talk to you and I'll be able to get it done. But once you're able to break it down and you're able to write it down, and you have to follow the process of writing notes and writing things down. It's the same thing that applies to comedy. You write down, same thing, topic, premise, punch. Same thing as an essay. What's your topic? What's the body of your essay? What's the conclusion? And if you were ever good at that, it's the same thing with every scene you do. Every minute of film is 1 page on the screen. That's it.
Oh yeah, I know.
What are we learning in this scene? And that's what trips a lot of writers up, because they want to like blow it out and this, that. But if you ever worked on a film set and you've ever seen the way they actually take a script and break it down and say, we're shooting this script right now, what needs to happen in it? What you need to do is just volunteer one time to be a production assistant on an actual independent, I don't care what it is, on an independent film. Then you'll see how they use it. Stick by the script supervisor if they have one. I've been a script supervisor on a couple of films, not an easy task. But when you do that, you'll actually be able to see how the actors respond to the dialogue is written and how they communicate their actions in the script that's being written.
Yeah, I mean, I worked, so it's funny because I worked in, you know, I wanted to try to be a PA for like a movie, independent or whatever. I always ended up as a PA or something like that with on TV sets. So, okay. But I really always wanted to just be on a movie set because I think first of all, it's so different than TV, so different.
TV's faster. Film is much. Yeah. You'll stand around for hours on a film set while they set up a shot. If you really, let me just tell you, anyone out there that's listening, you have to love film in order to do it because I'm telling you, you could be on a set. And I broke dawn on sets, 24 hours awake and wide to get shots done, to get it done. You have to love it. You have to love it. If you're obsessed with it, you have to love it. And I know you do.
Have you watched on Netflix Hollywood?
Not yet.
Not yet?
Not yet, but I'm getting to it.
Have to.
Not yet. I'm getting to it.
I binge watched it.
Now, who are you a descendant of? You sent me an email. Tell me about that.
Okay. On my mother's side, I am some type of descendant from Irving Thalberg. Now, Irving Thalberg, for anyone that doesn't know, is what the Lifetime Achievement Award for the Oscars is named after. So Thalberg, so way back when Thalberg and Fry, because my grandmother's maiden name was Fry, they were cousins. I mean, my grandmother basically once told me specifically how the connection is. She, of course, passed, and I have no idea where I wrote it down. But I do know it wasn't like a distant descendant. It was pretty, you know. So I always thought that was really cool. And I always thought it was cool because I was always interested in general in like movies and television. And to learn that later in life is just great.
Yeah, I found out that like there's Tinsleys in my family that own a special effects makeup company in California. And I was like, and I found them when I was doing, like, I was trying to find like a zombie wheel to like do like some show I had to do before COVID-19 happened. And I came across this Tinsley special effects makeup company, and I was like, Tinsleys are unique. There's not very many of us. I mean, there's a lot of us out there, but usually we're tied on some level. So I emailed them, and they were like, yeah, we're your like distant cousins. And I was like, oh my God, I'm an heiress to like a special effects movie company. Like, of course, like, why do I not have, I mean, not an heiress, but you know what I mean?
Isn't it cool? Like, isn't it when you're like, oh, so maybe this is like a sign, I'm in like the right.
Yeah, because I love special effects makeup, and I never really got the chance. I'm not an artistic person where I could actually like create like monster masks and stuff like that, but I just love it. It gives me like a rush where I love to do makeup. I love to like finding like simple tasks to like make it look good. I love scripts. I love all of that stuff. That's always been me since I'm a little girl. I've always loved that. I've always been completely and totally fascinated with the process of how television and film works.
Yeah.
So when I got into comedy, it was a little bit easier for me to be able to, you know, just to be able to say what's on my mind, because sometimes thoughts, you know, come faster. So you do stand-up comedy. How long have you been doing stand-up comedy for?
In July, it will be a year.
Okay, good for you. Congratulations.
Yeah, and I really have enjoyed it. I really have enjoyed the people that I've been blessed to work with, to come in contact with. For me, I have found that for the most part, people have been nothing short of super encouraging and helpful. I haven't found anyone to be like overly, you know, pushy towards me. But also sometimes I'm really oblivious to things. So, but
I don't think anyone would fucking dare. I just don't. Like, don't you
think it's a height thing? Kristen, don't you think that in general, people, when they want to start up with something and it's a tall woman and they know they're shorter than them, for some reason people flat out are like, oh no, I'm not gonna mess with her. Like I'm not
Hell
gonna.
no, exactly. They're just like, you know, when I started doing it, I was just like, all right, like I'm not one of those little girls that you could like swarm in on. Like I'm not a wallflower at all, whatever. Like try to like just try to take me down. Like I just feel like we're not gonna like just being a tall woman. Like it's as soon as
You kind of
there's, right, there's other tall comics out there that I've talked to, and she actually said to me, I don't want to mention her name, but she knows who she is. I'm sure she's not watching, but she said to me, she's like, oh, you know, as soon as I saw you, like, I was like, oh, there's another tall comic, like, oh, let me see if I'm gonna fuck with her. And then, like, you know, she started talking to me, and I started talking to her, and we just clicked. Like, we just clicked. Like, I was like, all right, like, and it was the same thing with you. I was like, thank God that there's another tall girl.
Do you remember a coaster? You remember coasters when you first saw me and you like roasted me, and I was like, I'm so flattered she's roasting me.
I do it to everybody. Listen, if you meet Kristen Tinsley and I don't roast you on the first second, that means I don't like you. I have roasted some of the people that are closest to me now. Like I've literally like just kind of like, you know, like why is this person messaging me? That's so weird. Anyway, so I was just kind of like, all right, let me see what this girl's about. And I liked you. And you said the jokes. You said everything that was on my mind about, and some things I didn't even think about with being a tall person. You know, it's hard out there being a tall woman. It's really,
Yes.
it's hard because you get this misconception of things. And I'm just kind of like, I don't know. I like being tall though. I like walking into a room and having everybody notice that I walked into a room.
Yes.
I love it. I don't care. I'll put on heels that'll make me 6'4". I don't care.
Oh, I mean, when I married my husband, before I married him, I said to him, I go, before we go any further, I really just need to put on my highest pair of heels. And he's like, why? I'm like, because if you're not taller than me, it's never going to work.
How tall is your husband? I've never met your husband.
He's 6'4".
Okay.
He's like 6'3", something like that. 6'3", 6'4". You know what? To be honest, he's always in work boots, and those boots are humongous. So I'm always like,
does he like tall women? Was he like, oh, I love tall women, and he just happened to like fall in love with you?
Like I once asked him, I'm like, did you ever date someone like shorter than me? And he goes, well, most people are shorter than you, but he goes, I like, you know, standing next to you. He's like, it's different. He's like, when you're next to someone that's, you know, a tall woman, like you can carry a dress, you can carry yourself, you know. Like he always said,
the legs. Yeah.
He just always says, he's like, everything just like, it appears just different on a tall woman.
Right. And I always have a lot of like short guys that are attracted to me. And I actually like short guys. Like,
right. I'm
like
not
5'6", 5'7", like that's okay. 5'8", that's fine. Like, but like, you know, I don't know. Like, I don't feel intimidated by like a shorter man, but like, I kind of feel like, all right, like a guy that's my height or a little bit taller is cool. But I mean, every guy that I've ever dated that like likes tall women, it's always like some weird fetish, and I'm like, dude, like, come on, stop. Like, I once dated this guy that wanted me to wear like these extra tall stripper shoes on top of me being like almost 6 feet tall, and he would like try to like climb up on top of me and like mount me, and I'm like, dude, like this isn't working. Like, you have a micro penis. Like, this isn't working, man. Like, you're 5'2". Like, come on, stop. Like, just stop. Right now.
I think the shortest I ever dated when I was in college, well, actually it worked out for me. When I was in college, when I was like a junior, I was hooking up with a freshman who was also shorter than me. So I went like younger and shorter. But yeah, I mean, it never like bothered me. And like, if you have sex with someone that's shorter than you, that's not, I think he like, let's see, I'm 5'10", so he must've been like, maybe he was like 5'8", maybe. But the truth is,
too short though.
Yeah, but
that's not too short. So when I heard, do you have like a set of comedy that you have done that like people absolutely love? Like people will say to you like, oh, I really love this set that you do. Like,
yeah, I mean, I think when I talk about basically essentially all the different ways people take advantage of me for being tall, you know, and all the different ways, and it's kind of true, like all the different ways that go on with you dating. I mean, I say a joke about, I'm tired of my boyfriend using me as a step stool, you know. I mean, it's
like a fucking Donkey Kong ladder, like.
And you know what else really pisses me off? I mean, I like being tall, but I really always feel like, and this is the other thing actually, I'm tall and I have like really strange amount of strength. Like my muscle memory, and I'm not like huge.
Me too.
And
Yeah.
like, I mean, when I used to work out like more, my arms are like quite tight.
You worked out this morning.
Oh yeah, I know. First of all, that's a killer workout. That woman,
It is.
It's a killer workout for 15 minutes. But I have like really weird amount of strength. So I always like, I can remember in high school doing like the pyramid, like trying out for like cheerleading, which I would never really wanted to cheerlead. So I don't know why I was doing a pyramid, but
I
was
totally was.
Captain
right here.
Here's the thing. I don't want someone else's fucking knees going into my fucking back. If I'm going to have knees going into my back, I want to be on a yoga mat, and I want it to be because it's going to be my knee impressions giving someone head or something like that. I don't need someone else's impressions in my back. For what?
And I don't want to see your crotch at the end of it. Like, I always hated being the bottom pyramid. Like, I don't want to look at your fucking lollipop, bitch. Like, relax. Like, stop. Like, I can't. Like, I hate that.
It's like, I'm not doing a pyramid. I'm not doing a pyramid.
Just put me in the front. Let me do my fucking chair, kick my long legs up in the air, and that's it. Like, I don't want to hold anybody up. Like, I hated that. Like, that's why I was always, like, insistent on, like, trying to work my way up. Like, I was the captain of the PAL cheerleading team. I was the captain of the drill team. Like, I didn't, like, no.
Are you,
like, no.
What is see, so on me, like, I'm 5'10", but the longest amount of my body is my legs. So, like, it is awkward. Like, I can remember in high school doing, like, the V-sit reach. And I remember the teacher being like, you just have to touch your toes. And I'm like, bitch, my legs are 3 feet long. I'm literally bending over longer than my body.
I actually don't know, because I'm still transitioning from, like, being, like, overweight. So my legs have not, like, fully, like, descended. Like, but I don't know. Like, I would think my body is pretty proportionate to everything, but I don't know, because, like, the stomach, like, the torso area has always been distorted because of the weight. Yeah. So I guess once that comes in, like, I really don't actually know, like, what I'm working with.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say that my legs are pretty long. Like, my legs definitely.
I definitely feel like your legs are very long.
Yeah, they are very long. Yeah, they're very long. Like, see, like, when I can literally like when I have sex with a guy, like, I can literally, like, wrap my legs around his body and, like, suck him into me. Like, it's insane. My legs actually.
I mean, I would say no guy is going to complain about that.
No, they're definitely not. Any guy that complains about sleeping with a tall girl, any guy that says that they don't like tall women, is a fucking liar. Okay, Zeta, the warrior princess, was, like, the hero of my day. I'm sorry. Like, that is.
What was her name? I forget her real name.
Give me a second. Lucy Lawless. Lawless. That's how much of a bitch. And China. I love China. I love China. Oh my God, I love China. Rest in peace, China. I love her. I love her. She was the best when she came out. And you know who else is a very tall bitch who I admire? God, she's a wrestler. She's blonde. Oh my God, what the fuck is her name?
I can't help you. I have no idea.
Oh my God, why am I drawing a blank right now? Jeff Bozy, help me out. What is the name of that wrestler?
Bozy's
watching. He's crazy. What the hell is her name? Anyway, Blondie, everybody knows who she is. When she comes walking out, like, there's just no way that, that you can't. Like, you can't miss her. She's just unbelievable. She's really tall. Frank, what is the name of that blonde? Her father was a wrestler. Oh my God.
Oh, you're talking about someone tall. I'm thinking of that short woman that has cats.
No. Not Stacy. No, not Stacy Keebler.
She was so pretty. I can't believe she did wrestling.
Her father was a wrestler. He had blonde hair. She has blonde hair also.
What the Hogan?
No. Hulk Hogan's daughter is very tall too.
She is.
She's tall too. She's over 6 feet. A lot of people don't know. Brooke Hogan is over 6 feet tall. Yeah. She is very tall. Oh my God. Somebody give me the name before I flip out. Oh my God. Why can't I think of the name? Probably because I've been drinking. What the hell?
Oh, well, everyone saw, because I posted it talking about long legs, and just strange to think about when I posted the other day how I decided I wanted to be like my dog and itch my ears.
Yeah, that was some crazy shit. That was some absolute crazy shit. But if there was a comedy written about your life, who would play you?
You know what? This person probably, oh, you know what? Okay, wait a second. I really, really love Tracy Ullman. She's really someone I admire and I look up to. And I used to watch Tracy Ullman Takes On, and then I used to watch it again and again and do her characters. Like people like that, I really am. I'm just drawn to. But if someone's gonna play me, I have to think about it. I really like that woman that was just in The Wrong Missy on Netflix with David Spade. Did you see
I
it?
tried to watch that movie and I was like, why is David Spade playing someone that's like looking for a date? Like I was really pissed. I was like,
Well,
so
that girl, like the way that was written, like the things that this crazy person was doing, this is the problem. These are things that I've actually done in my life. And I was like, did someone already write my biopic? I mean, I've done like crazy things and I don't think twice. And I mean, my friends that know me, I can't even believe the half the shit that I've done. Like crazy, like not normal. And a lot of times my husband, when we go somewhere, he's like, please don't do anything that's going to be embarrassing, or please just don't, or please just leave me before.
You have to talk too. Like you have to talk. Like let me just pull you aside. Please don't. Like I get to talk. Like I get to talk too. Like please don't curse anybody out. Be nice. Don't like go crazy.
My dad literally says to me, like, he knows I was doing this live, and he goes, so you're doing Ranay May and you're going on as yourself. Please try to make sure, and I mean, this is the other thing. I mean, I have Ranay May. I have about like 7 other characters. Ranay May is just the first one I've like actually put out there. But during the day, I don't know if this is considered your undiagnosed of like multiple personality, but during the day, I have multiple people in my head talking to me. It's probably because I've done so many different accents and so many different characters that I'm working on. So like when I'm doing
it happens.
I'm also thinking of like how Ranay May would speak to like Lou Dennis, who I just was doing the other day, or like Priscilla Christina. So to me, I'm always having a fucking dialogue.
Right. That's why, like, that's how, like, people ask me, like, where do you go for, like, months on end? Like, what do you do? And I'm like, I literally live in my own world.
Right.
Where I have all these other people that live in my head, and I'm trying to, like, create their worlds to create a story to fucking entertain you. So can I get some peace here? You know what I mean? That's what happens with writers, is that you live in your own world. You have to create these people, and sometimes you can't distinguish what's real and what's not real, because you have to get to know like your character so well. But then also there's like I'm in like that part where it's like, okay, I'm almost like ready to get back into my lair, like I have to actually go out and like get to comedy's been like one way for me to go out and like actually like get to know people. Like just kind of like to get to know them, to create new characters. Because if I don't like experience life, I'm actually missing out on a lot of things that I'm a lot of different characterizations and a lot of different situations that I'm going to need for my stories, because it can't be all about like the same thing. So I just try to like keep it like
Oh, before I forget, I just want to give a quick shout out. When I was living in California, all the amazing people that worked at Catch Up, which is no longer open, but that was on like Sunset Boulevard. I love all of you, and I'm still friends with all of you. And May 22nd, everyone look at the 2nd season of Selling Sunset. One of my good friends is on it. She's the newest cast member, and I'm so proud of her. And also, I wrote something on my Facebook page, but since I'm on here, I figured I would tell everyone. I try to be as active as possible in organizations that mean something to me. So the Children's Brain Tumor Foundation is having their 24-hour webathon. All the information I posted on my page, but they are looking for anyone that has like for comics, anyone that has like a 5 to 6 minute set. You can send a pre-recorded video to them, and then they will play it. And it's just a great avenue and option for anyone that wants to put their stuff out there, get more fans, get more people.
When do they need that? When do they need it by? Does that have to be clean?
They need it. Yeah, it has to be clean. And they need it by May 22nd. And this is a great organization for a lot of people that don't know, not to bring the level down, but this horrific diagnosis, families get it from kids. Usually it's from age like 5 to like 14. There's no cure. Most kids only live 9 months, which is horrible. And families shouldn't be told by doctors, go make memories. They should be told by doctors, we're going to fight because there's enough funding and we at least have something to help your kid and even a cure. So
I'm 100% on board with that because, like I said, I saw my friend lose her son. It was awful.
Yes. So
it was awful. There was not a dry eye in that fucking church that day.
So listen, as far as I know, most comics are not getting paid for anything they're doing. And at least if you're going to not get paid, at least do it for something like a really good organization. So please find all the information on my page. Please, please, please just send them the 5 fucking minutes that you have. And obviously it has to be
on there.
But just do it, because this way you never know, after all the quarantine is done, there's going to be someone out there in California saying, hey, you are really funny. I have a really big like organization I want to bring you on. This is the easiest way to get yourself out there. So I
think I might find some clean comedy to do and in memory of Lionheart Lou. So that
Lionheart Lou, he was amazing.
I was in high school with his mother and his sister and all those friends, and I just
awesome.
Can't.
Oh, really quickly, I worked at MTV. I can still tell you about this. I worked at MTV, and out of every single person I met, and I met basically everyone, the 2 nicest males were Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt. Now it was Tom Cruise after he was like, jumping on Oprah's couch. But he literally goes around to every office in the studio. I worked in the studio. I gave studio tours, and I was the assistant studio tour manager. So he went around to every single office before he even worried about what he was there for, what he was promoting. He went to say hello to every single security guard. He went around to everyone's office to introduce himself and to say, hi, how are you doing? And sincerely listen. So I know he's like considered crazy, but when it comes to class and going somewhere, like I remember calling my mom being like, Tom Cruise is in the building and he's probably like the nicest person I've ever come across.
100. Yeah.
They give you a list of what like all the celebrities want and things like that. His list was like so tiny. And then he came in, he's like, you know what? I'm not going to eat any of the food, like just take whatever you want. Like he was so blasé, he could care less. And then I also found that Brad Pitt was like equally super nice, like super nice.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Strange.
I would love to have met all of them. Have you ever all right, you've only done a couple of shows, which you did my birthday show. I thank you very much for that. Have you ever seen any like total like nightmares on stage, whether on stage in comedy or like when you were doing your thing working for MTV or any other type of professional thing you had?
I've seen okay, so MTV.
And we see a lot because we're tall.
Right. So MTV has a holiday party, or at least they used to. So when you go, like typically it's just the person that works there. You don't bring your spouse or anything like that. And it's huge. It used to be in this humongous like hall somewhere, whatever. I mean, I've seen like people get up on like stage and like make a fool of themselves and just think to myself, I'm outgoing, but not in front of like 50,000 people. Am I going to be like drunk and doing like the worm on the stage and swinging off the chandeliers? You know what? I've done shows with different comics and I always watch them because even if they're 1 year ahead of me or 7 years ahead of me, I feel like there's always something to learn from. I know for myself, I'm still finding how to be like comfortable on stage and also knowing like, where to take the breaks and where to take the natural pause and feeling completely comfortable. I think that's, it just comes, as everyone says, it just comes with experience. So I'm just finding my own way. But I have seen people like go up there and like no one's laughing and they still continue the set, which is what you're supposed to do. Yeah. And I always think to myself, like, oh my God, like I'm so scared to completely bomb, but everyone's like, you have to bomb to get better. And I literally say to myself, I'm like, oh, fuck no. Like, oh no.
Oh, sorry, I'm not taking a plunge. No.
And I'm thinking, I always say to myself, I'm like, I'll just go to that random bar in the city where people say like 3 people show up and I'll like only tell like my dad and my sister that I'm performing. So at least they'll be there. And
Right.
that's where I'll bomb. I'll do it in front of like 5 people. Like if I can only
Right.
bomb 5 people.
I don't like the term bombing. I just kind of feel like this comedy is subjective.
Yeah.
So if somebody doesn't think that, like when people are like, oh, I don't think that's funny. Okay, you don't think that's funny. No problem. Next person. Oh, you thought that's funny? Oh, great. Thanks. Here's tickets to the next show. Like I don't know. I just don't.
I mean, I agree with you. I mean, I think you can, and there was just something on TV and I posted that, like, it was such a great thing to watch. It was on Comedy Central.
Yeah.
And a lot of the comedians were saying, you know, like they go on tour. So one city, and they're doing like the same jokes basically. One city thinks it's hysterical. The second city thinks it's hysterical. The third city, no one laughs and it's horrible. But then the
Right.
fourth, so they said like that happens and you kind of just continue the set and you just say like, okay, the 50 people in this room don't think it's funny, but everyone else did.
Everyone else did. Right. It's very subjective. So are you ready for the final $1 million question that every comic must answer on In Bed with Comics? Are you ready?
Sure. I love questions.
Okay. Any comic, famous or not famous, that you would take to bed, who would it be? That would be like sex with them, you know.
Any comic that I would take to bed?
Yeah.
Let's see. I mean, I'm going to say this because he's really my like go-to and I love him because he's really funny and I love him. And people are not going to believe what I'm about to say. I would say Jack Black.
Oh my God. Okay. Why? Why? I mean, I have to know.
Really like go-to type of guy. Like I, in a heartbeat, would like run to that. Like
Jack Black,
messy,
really?
Yeah, like messy, pudgy. That's me. I like that.
Okay, I love that. I can totally respect that. And when you said that just sound, Jeff Bosey exploded in his pants. I'm just saying. Like as soon as you were like, because this and because the way you set it up, and then like all of a sudden the question was like Jack Black. Jeff was like, sorry, Jeff, love you.
Jeff, you should make sure you take that pre-cum and put it on your wife's face for the lines. Call back.
Love it. Yeah, no, I definitely, no, I
like Jack Black. I met him. He's really, really nice. And I also just feel like he's like very, very quick. He knows who he is, and he's right. Not afraid to be whoever it is he is.
He's not enough movies. I loved him in Saving Silverman. That's my favorite Jack Black movie, Saving Silverman. I love that movie forever. I will always watch that movie whenever it's on. I love that fucking movie. It is great.
I just feel like he like embodies like everything that I like, that, that I like about the industry. And I feel like that would be my person.
Cool. So you want to have sex with Jack Black. I hope that happens one day. And I think it will. I definitely think it will. You have definitely been a blessing. I learned so much about you. Before we go, name a couple things about you that people don't know, like any hidden talents that you might have or anything that people don't know about you.
Okay, so I can write with my feet because I was concerned if I ever was unable to use my arms, how would I sign a check? Not that even I was dyslexic as a child. I mean, I guess you are always dyslexic after you have it, right. But still to this day, I can write backwards, forwards. I can write in script going backwards. So if I'm working on something and I don't want someone to be able to read, I literally write in hieroglyphics. So that's always, and I actually once went on a job interview and they said, do you have any hidden talents? And I was like, I could write with my feet backwards. While I didn't get the job, they did say that's the first time they've ever had someone
say that. Like, I hate that. Like, if you have any hidden talents, like, I don't know, do you want to see me like open up a bottle of nail polish with like my cooch? Like, what do you want me to tell you? Like,
and other things that people don't know. I'm pretty much an open book. I mean, I typically really don't fudge a lot of things. I'm really pretty much very honest. I think sometimes, I think sometimes the people in my house don't prefer me to be as honest as I am, but that's me.
I get you. I totally get you. A lot of people don't like. I am like 100% like shit, like detector. Like if I see that you're fake, like that's the one thing that like irritates the shit out of me. I can't stand that. And you have definitely been like one of the most genuine people that I've ever met. And thank you
Fine.
for always encouraging me all the time and always having my back and supporting me. And I always have your back 100%. Like
Oh,
there will never
I want
be
to say,
any like craziness.
no, I love you. I love you.
I love you too.
One other thing. You know, my whole life, I feel like I always was like not like everyone else. Like I always was told I was weird. For me, being told that I was weird from a very young age, I always thought of it as a positive because I never wanted to, or I never thought about being a carbon copy of someone else. I was always told I was always the tallest person in the group of friends. I was also always like not really into like makeup and everything else. So I always felt like different, and I was told I was weird, or some people just didn't get my comedy, or they just didn't get me. And I just I never shied away from that. And I think that has a lot to do with the way my parents were, the way my sister was, the people that were around me. They just encouraged me to like find my weirdness. And I will say, and I say this all the time, when I started doing comedy, it's as if like the Mecca opened up, and like finally the things that were quirky and weird are like the things that are best. Like everyone in this has some type of quirkiness, some type of weirdness. The more weirder it is, I feel like the better it is. So I'm blessed. I'm blessed to be accepted into this community, and blessed that I know so many people. And I really do feel like it's the most positive experience I've ever had.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Because I was like, I wish that I had found comedy sooner, but I'm glad that I found it when I did. So,
and I'm really glad for how I came to comedy, which was through Stand Up University.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Because you can't. I mean, I didn't go to comedy, go to comedy college, but I mean, I will definitely 100% always support all of that, because it's just, if somebody wants that opportunity, it's there. You can take the classes, you can develop, and you are definitely in the hands of professionals that know what they're doing. So that is great.
Thank you so much. I really, really do. I'm so blessed to have you in my life.
Thank you for being in my life. I really just, now that I know all these things, I'm like, oh, this is like somebody that I could definitely jive with, because you know me, I'm not, crazy. I don't like crazy stuff. So, all right, so let's wrap this up. This is the longest show, because we're the tallest comics that have ever done In Bed with Comics. And I'm sitting here and I'm like trying, like, I'm not yawning because I'm bored. I'm yawning because it's just like, it's after 10, I'm crazy and tired. But this has definitely been an amazing show. I learned just so much. I used a lot of my energy tonight, and I feel wonderful about it. I believe this Thursday I have Miss Adrienne Davis coming on In Bed with Comics. So you want to tune in for that. Love her too. I cannot wait to see her do her Mom with a Mic and more of her characters. And thank you so much. And thank Ranay for coming in. I really loved that. That was really great. I mean, there's not a lot of people who could just go start with that character and then switch, back. I mean, of course there are, but it's not easy. It's not easy to have all of that inside of you and to be able to put it out. So I really appreciate you putting that on In Bed with Comics. I really loved every minute of tonight. So definitely cool. Well, stay on. I'm going to end this. Stay on there. All right, everybody out there, thank you so much for watching In Bed with Comics. Thank you, Shari. Thank you, Ranay. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I will see you on Thursday for another episode of In Bed with Comics. I'm your host and fellow comedian, Kristen Tinsley. Have a great night.